I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been successful in life?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the MMA Analysis. I was thinking earlier I was going to start it off with the accent, talk about, a hop across the pond, all that sort of stuff, but apparently I just, in the moment, didn't want to do it. But anyways, we're back. I'm sure I'll say something stupid about British people or the UK or Ireland at some point in this podcast, because that's just the way I do things. But we've got the full crew here today. Sean, how you doing?
Good. Nice week off last week from that dumpster fire of a card. It's always fun when the UFC just tweets out some shit, just antagonizing the fans that
I did see that.
Fights are shitty in the Apex, when you have all these finishes. And I'm just like, cool. So some random fighters got some finishes. I'm pretty sure that happens down the street on a Saturday. Yeah, every regional card, there's some people get knocked out and stuff. So what are you gonna do?
We are going to ignore it as much as possible until they put on good stuff. And what's the we're under a month until their window opens for negotiations for a new deal. It'll be interesting. Apparently, lots of suitors out there for shitty hours and hours of content. So yep. we'll see who ends up getting the big bucks. If it's like a Netflix thing like WWE did, or one of the standard traditional broadcasts that they end up going with. But that will be an interesting story for 2025. But we got other stuff to talk about. Wes, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We got some of the best sporting event happening starting tomorrow. Always good time for March Madness. And kind of shitty card this weekend, but I think we're not long out to that Miami card, which is just absolutely amazing and the kind of cards I look forward to nowadays. We talking about the warehouse fights, and it is funny that the UFC's gotten to a point to where you could just watch our boy Capoza's timeline and get the knockout finish in a 90-second clip. And is that what the UFC has become? Kind of what they're like, trying to be condescending as fuck to everybody. And so maybe just get your streaming services to work when people are trying to give you money still, and stop fucking talking down to your fans and shit that rightfully complain that you hold warehouse fights every other week, and you plan on doing so into the future because it gives you cheap content to sell for probably over $1 billion here coming up. So, yeah.
Lots of money. Lots of money.
They're going to get paid, bro. Paid. They're going to get paid.
And it's not because of the product.
It's not the product at all.
Like that. It's the fact that sports media rights are through the roof, and
it's cheap.
Companies need to put shit on their streaming.
Exactly.
And their channels.
Like you look how like reality type shows have taken over other networks and shit. Like MTV is pretty much like nothing but reality shows now. It's so cheap to make. You only need a few 100,000 viewers each week on the show, and that's money, man. That's what we're paying for now. But that's why you get slop, and people slop it up. It's wild to see.
More important question, Wesley.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that. That's exactly where we should be. I'll even speak about our arch rival, like Louisville got fucked with an 8 seed. Like Louisville got absolutely hammered. I'm pulling for Rendezvous Rick though. I think St. John's makes a run.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they
I
make a
had
run.
them going to the Elite Eight at the very least, maybe Final Four.
Yep.
But I know nothing about college basketball, so you're going to want to get that information from Wes and other sources that actually pay attention to it. I barely pay attention to MMA. So, speaking of last week, I think I had the main event on the third screen, and don't really recall a whole lot happening. There was like a little spot in the third round where Vettori kind of like stumbled him a bit, and the rest of it was like an empty 25 minutes of fighting, which was to absolutely be expected with that particular card. So quick couple seconds, if you even feel like it, on the main event there, Sean.
It's what we expected from the number 10, well, now number 9 and number 10 ranked middleweights. Yeah, just garbage.
The middleweightiest fight of all time.
It was just slop. Lost some money on some slop. We'll try to get it back this week.
I've really dialed in to the wise old owl's philosophy that you can only be good at one sport at a time. So we're choosing lacrosse right now.
Smart man.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
We appreciate
we're not
it.
bothering with the crappy UFC. So we'll see if we find a couple bets on this week's card, but not holding out too much hope. Wes, main event thoughts, if there are any?
Yeah, just kind of what we thought it was going to be. I will say that, like, I feel like Vettori is going to end up being like some like horrible wasted talent, like seriously, because in that weight class, the man has one of the best chins that we might have. I'm just saying, like,
all he has, like he's not,
but
like he's just meh at everything. And
that's why I say wasted talent, though.
In ranked middleweight.
If that dude could have ever like put together learning any sort of like skill or striking skill or like anything, and then it's
hard to break through that thick skull, Wes. I mean,
I get it.
It takes a lot.
The dude's he's got sort of like his gas tank is good though. Like he just puts nothing together. He fights like he's a meathead. He fights like he's an idiot. But the chin, the cardio, that should have took that guy way further than it ever has. And I don't know. I guess he made top 4, top 5, something at some point. But but they're talking like running that back like Vettori, and I'm like, nobody ever wants to see any of that ever fucking again. Like that actually
put it in the warehouse, and then we don't have to watch it.
It was a horrible ending to like a pretty decent card. Like it was a warehouse card, but there was finishes and knockouts and shit, and that fight ended like all of that.
Just a fairly bad card on paper that overperforms with violence, which is much appreciated. Yep. And then just the cherry on top, the lasting of the little bit that you always are going to think about, and it's just an absolute shit 5-round decision.
Yeah, there you go. Wes, I hear you have some thoughts on some of the other fights on this card. I know Sean and I do not, so take it away. Talk about what you want. I'm not even going to read the results.
Yeah, I mean, not much. It was nice to see Chitty do his thing, like hell of a finish for Chitty. Nice dog price. The guy, what's his name? Dyer, whatever. Like I'm not gonna talk shit about the dude or anything, but like just watching that, man, like I don't like our boy Dan Tom has spoke about it. He has a way more like nuanced view of this stuff than me. He knows more about it, but I don't see how that like couldn't be like a detriment. And I know he's fought with that kind of tick his whole career and got knockouts and shit and stuff. I just don't know how that can be good to like be rubbing and covering one of your eyes the entire fight and stuff. Like it was just it's really weird. I know it's not like the guy's got a tick. It is what it is. But if you want to say something,
it obviously, like, here's the thing. He's good enough that it hasn't, or I don't know, it has a couple times been a detriment because he's fighting guys that he's just better than. But once you step up, of course, that's going to be a detriment. I mean, that's just like Poirier pulling up his shorts every time. Did he ever get caught off that? No, but I mean, eventually, it probably got hit a couple times more because he does that shit. It is what it is.
And that's what like Day and Tom kind of tweeted about and shit, saying like a lot of fighters have ticks and do things. A lot of sports players do. Like Rafael Nadal is like one of the most popular ones that, he had, but it's the same routine. It's not just the ass pick. It's he does his nose and then his eye, like, but
the thing is, he does that before the
in the middle
play
of
is going on.
in the middle of and I get that the guys won and got knockouts and stuff, but at this level, like that can't be good. And I'm not saying it was in this fight, but that just can't be a good thing. The Vallejos kid might be good. That guy might be the goods. And we'll say about Vera, man, I almost picked that guy in Toutmaster, and the couple dudes that did leapfrog like 10 spots in Toutmaster this week. That was a hell of a pick. That was a crazy win and hell of a pick. That's about it.
Yeah, that'll happen when you hit a plus 600. But he was getting he was not winning until he won, right?
No, he was getting the shit, but I mean, it didn't, it didn't last very long. Like he caught it very quick, but hell of a
props to him, man.
Yeah,
there's been some big dogs hit this year. It's
I got one. Yep. I think I put up one of the biggest scores in Toutmaster history.
So favorites are hitting it just under, just a little bit over 59% this year.
Ooh,
that is very low. It was 70 last year.
Yep.
It was so either something's changing or there's about to be a shit ton of favorites going to win here.
10%'s a big.
That's a lot to make up.
That's a big, especially it's not just last year. It's been like 3 or 4 years that faves are hitting at like 70+%.
Yeah. It was always going to correct because, like, if it happens that much for that long, then people are just going to start piling on favorites, and
that's what people did.
Yep, and it's always a cycle in this game, always a cycle. So yeah, that'll do it for last week's warehouse fights, and this week we're heading, as I said, across the pond, so to speak, to jolly old London, England, for a card.
How biased do we think Bisping's going to be for every local fighter?
Yeah, you're going to want to play that on you if there is a. I mean, there's pretty much one in almost every fight, so it's going to be tough. You might want to listen to something else while you're watching these.
So this must be starting a little bit earlier in the day, right?
Yeah, it is. It starts, what does it say on Toutmaster? It's 1 Eastern is when the first fight goes off.
Gotcha. Maybe a little, it'll make the 3rd or 4th screen. We'll see. Depends what.
Busy weekend. Busy weekend.
It is going to be a very busy weekend. It's probably not making a screen, honestly. We'll see when we get up towards the main card, but kicking it off, maybe it on the phone. Maybe. We'll see. But we are in the lightweight division. We've got Guram Kutadledze taking on Kawhi Fernandez. Sean.
It's good to see Kutadledze back. He had a bit of a tough go in the UFC. Like, he seemed like he was going to be very good. He had a very good performance against Gamrot in a close fight, and then just kind of laid a couple eggs. But I think, I mean, D1 Diakisi was able to take down Fernandez and lay on him and control him for a long time. I'm assuming that Guram's going to be able to do the same thing. Nothing surprising there. The fight's what, minus 500, minus 450. Yeah, I'm assuming Kutateladze is going to win a decision here. I don't think I'm going to be able to lay that juice though, because I don't know enough about the guy he's fighting.
Fair enough. He does have a win over Hani Yaya's brother, Muhammad Yaya. So that's something.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah, I think you got like Kutateladze here. We kind of saw it with Diakisi against this guy. I'm not putting too much into him beating the old lesser Yaya. Dude did have some decent wins on LFA coming in. But man, if Diakisi can like win a couple rounds off of you with takedowns and control and stuff, like Guram is ridiculous wrestling. I don't think I can lay at minus 450, but Guram by decision is like minus 115. I don't think that's bad. I just see a lot of top control and working from Guram here and getting probably a 3-round decision. So don't know if I can play that, but if I was to play anything, it'd be him by decision.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. He's not the biggest hitter or finisher in the world. Kawhi's never been finished, so getting the minus 450 guy pretty much even in his most likely path to victory makes a whole lot of sense to me. So that's if for some reason I am watching the first fight and I need a bet, that would be the bet, I think, on that one. Next up, bantamweight division, Colin Loughran taking on Nathan Fletcher. Sean, who are these guys? I pulled them out of the pub, these two dudes.
They did. It's the old classic Ireland versus English fighter. I feel like a fight between two of those folks just on the street might be more entertaining than what these two are going to do. But we'll see. Loughran, I think, probably has good enough defensive grappling to keep this on the feet, and then I think he's a better striker than Fletcher. I'll pick Loughran, but I don't want to have money on this shit.
Wesley?
Yeah, I kind of lean Loughran in this spot. I watched this Fletcher guy lose to that dude Khan Olfi on The Ultimate Fighter, and that dude is fucking horrible. He got like beat the fuck up by Naimov a couple fights. The dude Marlon Santos knocked him out in the tough finale. Like, that guy's bad, and he beat Fletcher on the show. Like, I know Fletcher's last time out, like, it cost me money. I faded him last time because I thought the dude from was it the Lithuanian dude?
Ziggy Rigoris.
Yeah. I thought he was actually decent, and he's like really not. Loughran's got UFC experience. He's fought some decent dudes, man. A loss to Lapalus is not bad. A decision loss to Headley. Like, those are decent dudes that guys like Fletcher's never fought before. So I think Loughran keeps this up and wins like a fucking shitty kickboxing match. So I don't hate a bet on Loughran in this spot.
Yeah, I feel like Loughran came into the UFC overhyped, and now after the early results, that's kind of normalized or maybe even gone a little bit in the other direction. The not being able to wrestle Jake Hadley is a bit concerning to me, concerning enough that I'm not going to be able to have a bet on this one on either side. But I do think that he's the more talented fighter, and we'll see if Fletcher can put his grappling to work. But I think it's going to be one of those cases where he's more submission over position, as a lot of guys that are just coming off the British regional scene are. And that's going to give Loughran spots where he can get back to his feet and get his striking going a bit. So we'll pick Loughran, but yeah, not something that I'm interested in betting in this spot. But you know what I am interested in betting? Not women's strawweights. Shauna Bannon, Pooja Tomar. Sean, what are we doing?
It's wild to see someone have a sub 5 foot reach. Will that matter?
I've got more than a 5 foot reach.
Of course. Will that matter? Who knows? This is absolute shit low level. Women's MMA. Let's fold the division.
That's a great idea. One of your best yet. Wes?
I truly do not care about this fight.
You guys didn't even give me enough time to pull up their Tapology pages and scroll through for something funny to say.
Nope. Not even getting
Horrible.
The over is like minus $1 billion on this one. So gun to my head, we're going fight doesn't go if we have to take a bet on this just for something hilarious to happen. And we'll see if somebody can get put away. But yeah, do not care. I guess I will be taking the dog in Toastmaster. Next up, middleweight division. Got the old CLD Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Andre Pulyaoff. Sean?
Pulyaoff. That's good. That's about as much entertainment as we're gonna get here. I mean, Duncan might just smoke him. We've obviously seen his limitations in the Hobo Cup fight and the Petrosian fight. Luckily, I think we both, or all of us, cashed on those, which was nice to see. And now he's back out there as a absolute monster favorite. I didn't watch this guy on Contender Series. He won a decision, and it's not the first season of Contender Series, so all you have to do is win. You might not even have to win to get a fucking contract. I'll pick CLD, but trusting that guy as a monster favorite is not good for your health.
Allegedly, this fella is a disciple of one Alexander Shlemenko.
Look at the gym. The gym is just, the gym's amazing. School of Martial Arts, Alexander Shlemenko. Like, that's the name of the gym.
And he's fought a bunch of
Didn't get
times
style
on
points for that one.
Shlemenko FC. And hey,
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that he can get a visa to get into the UK. So there you go. He must not be all that bad. Wes, what do you got here?
Yeah, not a lot, man. I don't see how you could ever lay minus 550 on Duncan against most guys. So I can't get myself to pull the trigger on Pulyaoff though. So this is probably just a total pass. Probably taking some Pulyaoff on Toastmaster though. Like Leroy Duncan's just prime for a horrible loss from time to time, and wouldn't be shocked if it happened again here.
Yeah, haven't seen him fight, but looking at the record, lots of ground and pound type finishes, a couple subs. Like, it seems like he's willing to go after a takedown and do some work on top, which is a pretty good, sight unseen. That's a pretty good recipe for success against old Leroy in this one. And yeah, again, not betting somebody blind out there, but this could be one where I'm swayed to put the dog in Toastmaster. Got to catch up after I missed a couple weeks ago. Need to pull off the Bailey special, get into the money, even though we missed one. Next up, heavyweights. Kind of t-shirt in the poolie, a little bit. But these guys are also kind of know how to fight too, which detracts from that a little. So Marcin Tybura, Mick Parkin. Sounds racist to just call a guy Mick, doesn't it? Am I allowed to do that?
If it's his name, you're allowed to say it, Brad. That's the pass. That's the name pass. That's what you get.
I was watching the Dodgers because they're out apparently playing regular season games. Oh, we lost Wes. He was gonna love this one.
Oh,
there's this guy on the Dodgers. His last name is Hernandez and his first name is Kike. Like you can't say that. And then they told me, no, it's I can say it.
You can say it. I cannot say
it. They're like, no, it's Kike. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
sure. Yeah, it's Kike. Yeah, whatever you say, guys. Anyway, thoughts on Marcin Tybura and Mick Parkin?
I'm just not a believer in Mick Parkin. This dude got doubled up strikes against him against Chow Machado. He went to a close decision against Muhammad Usman where Usman didn't even shoot a single takedown. Tybura is not good, but he's kind of a gatekeeper to decent fighters. Decent for heavyweights, of course. His losses are Spivak, Aspinall, Volkov. That's going back, 5 years. So basically, unless you're like a top 5, top 6 heavyweight, Tybura beats you. I know he's getting older and stuff like that, but he still beat the shit out of Denise last time out there. I don't know if he'll be able to get Mick Parkin down. Both of them kind of go for some takedowns, so they might cancel out, or if one's way better than the other, you get them down, and then they might get smashed. But I got to go with Tybura. More known commodity, just he only loses to good guys, and I just don't think Parkin's that good. So I'll be playing him. Looks like he's no longer a dog, or while he's still a dog, but you don't get any plus money on him in most places. But I'll be putting a couple units, I think, on Tybura, which is terrifying, of course, in 2025.
Yeah, kind of right there with you. I think Wes, I'll circle back to you after this, but it's more important that Parkin won't be able to get takedowns on Tybura because I think he really needs that to have success in this fight. If it's on the feet, Tybura is more active, more diverse as a striker, actually, keeps a pretty decent pace for a chubby dude. And even if he does get taken down, it's not like he's going to get dominated like he was on the ground against Spivak or something like that. Parkin's just, kind of looking to lay on you. And if you're really bad, then he can throw some ground and pound and maybe get you out of there. But that's not a path that I see against Tybura. So, yeah, like Tybura in the spot. Might have a little play, but not loving it. Wesley.
Yeah, kind of disagree with everything Brad said. I like Tybura in this spot, and Tybura by decision is like some plus 225 out there. I think that's a little bit long, so I have a little bit of that as well.
Not bad at all. Flyweight division. We've got Loner Kavanaugh. They even such a loner. They sent him off to what? Hong Kong? Where's he training from? He's not allowed. They're not in Ireland training with all the other Kavanaughs, which is probably a good thing for him.
Smart.
Taking on Felipe Dos Santos. Sean.
Let's just let you put apostrophes wherever the fuck you want in jolly old England, eh?
Yep.
I guess they just decided right there.
So
I don't.
What do we think would actually? Because usually it's like a V that goes in a spot like that. So is his name like Lone Ever Kavanaugh? What's going on?
Need to get Anik on this. What are you calling this guy, dog?
I mean, I don't know too much about either of these guys. I know Dos Santos had a really good showing late, last second against Kopp, and then beats Altamirano, but then kind of comes up short against Andre Lima. That's a big number. if I were forced to bet this fight, I'd probably take Dos Santos. But I don't have to, and I probably won't watch this fight.
That is the one advantage that we have over the books. They got a line every fight. We don't have to bet every fight, folks. Wisdom for you.
Well, Wes does.
I don't bet every fight, but
I know.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But
I still find 8 to 10 on every card.
Used to be able to do it. Now I'm at like 2 or 3, maybe.
I force myself, man. I've never. It's always been my worst problem as a bettor. Is I can't, like, it's volume. I can't. Like,
you're watching it. You gotta have some money.
Well, and it's like, do I like this one more, this much more than that one? How do I cut this one up? But then when I've ever tried to do that, they win. So then you're like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. And then you're back to whatever.
I'm with you. Somebody has to win every fight, and like there's usually a pretty discernible way that they will win. So I get it. I used to be very much in the same boat. If I was watching as much as you do, I'm sure I still would be. But
you have to. You're watching all this shit. Just dogger pass on this one for me as well. I feel the line's too wide. I feel like Dos Santos, though, it finds ways to lose fights at times. So I can't trust that for a bet. So just probably a pass, but definitely the dog and tout master.
Yeah, I think the idea here is that they're bringing Dos Santos in to lose, but as we saw in his UFC debut, he's game. And didn't he have to like go across to Australia or something for his debut against Cap? I think so.
It was something weird. Yeah.
So like been overseas, done all that. The results since that fight have been less inspiring than the performance in that particular fight. But we also haven't seen a ton out of the old loner to this point. I mean, he's gotten some knockouts over some guys who nobody's ever heard of, and then I have virtually no memory of his UFC debut against a guy I've also never heard of in Jose Ochoa. So that doesn't strike me as somebody who should be minus 500 against, or not minus 500, he's like minus 300 against a capable UFC flyweight, where we always say the gap from the top to the bottom and the guys who are outside of the UFC is much smaller than pretty much any other division. So yeah, Dos Santos, tout master pick. If I really need a bet, which I won't, that would also be the bet.
Did Steve not see the name, bro? I'm a true UK fan. Like I love the English.
Very
the
true.
kingdom. He loves the kingdom.
Some of the first people that ever followed me on here were like people from England. There's a couple, and then Canadians. They thought I was fucking British. You think I met all these Canadians for some reason?
Well, and you always, back in the day, you always used to bet on Man U as well. And I thought you were talking about Ginobili all the time. And what the fuck is this British dude talking about?
Twitter was so
Man U
much
stuff.
better. Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was good times.
Lightweight division up next. We've got Chris Padilla, good bro, taking on the Black Country Banger, baby. One of the best nicknames. There's nothing you can even add to that. I mean, Jai Herbert, bring it home. Sean, what do you got?
I think Padilla's probably got to get a finish here. That's mostly the way he wins. And of course, this is in London, and for some reason they still like Jai Herbert. The one thing with Herbert, his chin can be checked, and Padilla's got power. So I think he's gonna crack him and get him out of there. Herbert can be grappled a bit. I don't know if Padilla's wrestling is good enough to get him down and keep him down, but it is another possible avenue if he really needs it. So I like Padilla. I'm gonna bet him. It's like basically a pick 'em right now. So I think unfortunately the price on him by finish is basically like plus 200. So at that point, just take the money line.
I don't know what that sound is. I'm assuming it's coming
That
from
is
Wes.
Wesley got he's got
My
in the back.
You
I don't know.
running wires together there.
I don't know, man. My whole shit's fucked up tonight. So whatever you hear, it's not me. You know, if you hear some, that is not me. That's
we gotta wait until we get to Carlos Ulberg before you start making those noises.
now we're fucking talking.
What you got on this one?
Yeah, I mean, look, I always worry about betting against Ja, the black country banger, when they have him over in England, which is more times than not. Like, the guy does seem to perform well when he's at home and stuff. But I think the guy's getting a little old at this point. He's actually had some tough fights in the UFC over the years. And I feel like, Padilla definitely younger. Padilla's gotten way better, man. If you look back at him, like
RFA days.
Yeah, a while back, like he wasn't, like, he was losing. He had some wins, but was losing down on the regional scene and shit. But over the past couple of years, man, that guy's gotten very, very good. And I don't think he can have like some kind of slow, kind of technical boxing match with Ja Herbert. Ja Herbert's good at that. That man's got hands. Like, he's got decent striking, good boxing. Padilla doesn't fight like that anymore. That dude comes out and gets in motherfuckers. I think his last fight was like a good win in how he fights, like over Roju or Rojong, however you want to, if you don't want to be Brad, I say it better than I do, but he beat the shit out of that dude, man. Like, that's a tough guy to get out in a fight. So I think if Padilla comes out and just gets in Herbert's shit, man, and makes this a dirty fight, he's going to get a finisher. And I like Padilla quite a bit. He's probably my favorite side on the entire card.
Yeah, he made a lot of people feel wrong in that one. Wasn't he like a pretty big dog against the old Jurong? Anyway, I'll let you guys look that up. But I also like
plus 200
in this spot. There you go. Yeah, I think that, like Wes said, if he comes out here and kind of makes this a dog fight instead of staying at distance against a much taller, longer fighter who got decent kicks, decent technical boxing, really likes to operate in that space. I mean, we saw the Topuria fight where obviously he had a little bit of early success, rocked Topuria in that one. But then eventually the chin showed up. So we've seen the chin a few times now. He's getting up into the late, mid to late 30s. Tall guy defense, because he's definitely one of the taller dudes at 155. All that makes me think that if he can come out, Padilla can come out and get in Jai's face, that he can have a lot of success here. So I do think that it's likely got to be a stoppage, because otherwise he's going to get picked apart a little bit at range. But I do think that's very much on the menu for this one. So I will also be taking Chris Padilla. And I don't know where this ranks on like the confidence scale for consensus is. I would think it's more towards the bottom than the top, but Chris Padilla, consensus better than we.
We've had way worse, but it's not like way
I
up
didn't say
there.
it was at the bottom. I said it's more towards the bottom than the top.
But it's definitely down pretty low.
It's a pretty greasy one, but especially in London. If it goes to decision, you can probably mark it down as a loser already. but we're hoping that it doesn't come to that. Moving up to the main card now. Oh, Sean, what price are we doing for the old consensus there?
I guess we'll do -110. That's probably like the worst price you can get out there, but
yeah, if you have to bet that at -110, then you need more
get
outs.
more books. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Chris Padilla -110 consensus. Main card now, featherweight division. Nathaniel Wood, Morgan Charrier. Sean.
I still don't really see Nathaniel Wood as a 45er. I think he still should be a 35er. Like, I know it gets tougher to cut weight in the lower weight classes as you get older, but the dude just does not have a frame for 45. Charrier is, he's got good power. Nathaniel Wood can get clipped at times, so I could definitely see him cracking Wood. So I think he's just going to be too physical, too big for Wood, and I'll pick Charrier.
Wesley.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know. I've gone back and forth on this one. I do think Sean probably hits on the most important point in this fight, especially just the size. Like, Wood is not a 145er. He is definitely one of those stuck in between guys that if they had a 140-pound weight class, that's exactly where he would be. Charrier is going to just be, he's going to be a tank compared to Wood in this fight. Like, I do think Wood is probably the all-around better guy, but man, the power difference and just the size difference in this is going to be pretty big. So if Wood can't implement a perfect game plan, get a takedown maybe, which I think is just going to be tough for him, he's probably in a rough spot in this fight. So leaning back towards old Charrier, so probably go that way, but no bet at like -150 now or something like that. I don't know. If it comes down a little, maybe a look, but yeah, just a pick.
I think I'm probably looking at old Nathaniel Wood in this one. Just a case of, I think he is the better fighter, as much as he's not a 145er, or at least like a decent size 145er. I think the chin has looked like it's holding up a little bit better at 145 than when he was cutting weight. Yeah, I think volume's going to be there as long as he doesn't just get completely bullied in this fight and held up against the cage or taken down repeatedly, which shouldn't happen. That's not Charrier's game. That he should be able to have a little bit more output. I think his pace is going to be better, although Charrier's got a lot of 5-round experience from his Cage Warriors days. But I think that Wood's going to carry his pace better through this fight and, pull away a little bit in the third round, but not a super strong lean. Obviously, the books are onto the fact that Wood's not really finishing anybody at 145 and Charrier is a tough guy. So I think the decision price is only like +175. And you can get the money line out there at, +130, +135. So not much sense in going that direction. Could be a bet on Wood for me, but again, this is kind of a tricky card betting wise. A lot of stuff that's inflated, but do we really trust the dog? Or a lot of these close fights where, yeah, I think Wood's the better guy, but could get bonked by a much stronger, more dynamic opponent. Aussie, that's definitely Wes. Don't bring that. We've got
a mosquito.
We got proper working mics up in Canada. It's all those FAA regulations. They're rolling back. It must be affecting the radio traffic, and we're hearing it through Wes's mic. Next up, back up to the lightweight division. We've got Jordan Vucenic taking on Chris Duncan. This feels like it's Cage Warriors main event. Sean?
Yeah, pretty much. Vucenic, looked decent, pretty damn good against Kutateladze in his debut. Just kind of ran out of steam, and Kutateladze got, he has good control and was able to kind of shut him down for the last couple rounds. I don't think Chris Duncan is going to be able to do that. Vucenic probably takes him down and wraps him up and taps him out. I don't know what the price is on that. Probably not great. But plus 275 if you got a certain book. So Vucenic by decision, it's not terrible at those prices, plus 200, something like that.
Not bad. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Duncan is still completely fucking terrible. I don't care what bums he's getting a win over. Like, he's bad. This Vucenic guy, ran into good Gurham last time out and kind of stopped his streak. But, I mean, he was like destroying good dudes over in Cage Warriors and decent dudes for Cage Warriors. So, I think he smokes Duncan in this fight. I'm kind of just probably going to play it safe and take some under. There's some spots where that's under minus 140 at this point. So I like Vucenic to get a finish in this fight.
Yeah, I like Vucenic here as well. Like you said, probably a finish just because guys seem to finish Chris Duncan when they beat him. Vucenic does have a pretty decent sub game, so probably looking in that direction. I don't know what the prices are on these because I haven't been looking at them a lot recently. This one, with the line being so wide, probably going to be ridiculous. But the Vucenic no scorecards bet looks like it's only minus 325. Actually, I'm not entirely sure why it's cheaper than the money line. But that kind of seems like almost a free roll. I don't see Duncan finishing him. I only see a finish coming from Vucenic in this one, and I think we all kind of feel that way. So Jordan Vucenic's the pick. Line's too long for me to take any sort of bet. Maybe you can find something to do with the no cards bet in a parlay or something like that, where it can add a little juice or just be voided. Next up, women's strawweight division as well, because we haven't quite hit the quota yet. We've got Alexia Tainara taking on old Meatbally McCann. Sean, pumped?
What a fall from grace for old Meatballs. Yeah, folded division. I don't care.
Yeah, from old Dave Portnoy buying you fucking Rolex watches to nobody giving two shits about Gina.
Somehow she's still fucking, third or fourth from the top on this London card? Fourth from the top on this London card? So this might be
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah, don't really like a side at all on this spot, but man, fight inside the distance at plus 160 bet online is kind of wild to me. Like we pretty much know where this fight's gonna go. It's Molly's gonna get on the mat at some point, armbar, or get the shit beat out of her and stopped. So I like fight inside here, chick fight, but it's plus 160. I just think the price is kind of wild of how we've seen her fights go time after time after time. Like the line's just too wide for me not to take. I have no clue about a pick. I probably can't even force myself to pick Molly fucking McCann and Toutmaster, even though she's a dog. That chick is that bad.
Is there a fight ends sub line for this fight somewhere? I'm sure there is.
Sure there is.
But that could be
the play.
Interesting. They've definitely got more random subs and have lost by more random subs than anything else. Yeah.
McCann by sub is plus 1,400.
And
by sub is plus 400.
Yeah.
Plus 500.
Yeah.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
that's Canby, so probably can't get much there. But what'd you say, Sean? 400?
Yeah, 400.
Still not bad. So, I mean, you put those together, fight ends by sub, probably somewhere in the plus 300-ish neighborhood for that one. Could be
Plus
worth a little poke.
Plus 213 is what Aussie's saying.
Oh, I thought
Fight.
that was the previous one.
I thought that was the previous fight he was talking about there.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure
Meatball, yeah. He's seeing 500.
In the chat with what the ends by sub price is for this one, but I think that's a very real possibility. S West said the doesn't go at plus 160. There's so many stupid ways that this fight could be finished that I think that's a
plus
possibility
275
as well.
if you arb those two at Bet Online.
Okay, there you go. Not too crazy.
Not bad.
Yeah, moving on. Welterweight division. Kevin Holland back down cutting weight means business. He's ready to show up and put in an honest day's effort after flying to another continent. It's definitely the way I feel about Kevin Holland coming into this one. And he's taken on Gunnar Nelson, who is apparently not dead, apparently not fired. But his last two fights, so 2 fights since the pandemic, and they were against tough competition.
Oh,
Brian Barberena in 2023 with no back, and Takashi Sato, who has no grappling whatsoever, and Gunnar couldn't even sub him. I think that was Gunnar sub might have been a consensus. And I don't know how it lost because he was on his back for like 13 minutes of that fight. And just nothing, not even an attempt. So, Sean, tell me why I should bet Kevin Holland.
So I've bet against Kevin Holland, I believe, almost every time he's fought in the UFC.
As you should.
As I should. Hit a couple. I mean, he's not doing great lately. 1-4 in his last 5. He's down at welterweight where he should be. You can't be fighting these guys that are fucking 210, 200.
The last one was ridiculous.
Yeah, once they hydrate. Pretty sure they gave the fight day weights, and I'm pretty sure he was 184 pounds. Like, what are we doing here? He's not even cutting that much weight to get to 70. He at 170, he's decent, man. He's got good power for 170. The question obviously is always the grappling. At 170, it's a hell of a lot better than it is at 185, just physically. This is kind of a fade on Gunnar Nelson. Like I said, I don't think I've ever bet on Kevin Holland, but I'm doing it here. Like you said, Nelson hasn't fought in 2 years. He's fought 2 times in the last 3 years. I gotta bet. I gotta bet Kevin Holland here. I got him at plus 108. I got 2.5 units. I think he hits a gunner that is a not even a he trains MMA. He doesn't fight MMA. This is a guy that just trains, and sometimes he fights.
Does he even do that anymore?
He supposedly he does. He trains guys. Hasn't seen Connor in 2 years, which is probably a pro on his side. So that's good. But yeah, these are just 2 different guys. Like, Holland is obviously active, probably to his detriment, but I'll take him against the guy that who knows if he actually wants to fight.
I'm pretty sure he definitely does not want to fight.
No.
If there's anything I know about Gunnar Nelson. Wesley.
Yeah. I like Gunnar in this fight, but I don't know. I respect Sean's opinion and stuff on fights, so it's probably enough to where I'm probably not gonna put.
Don't do that because you'll hate yourself when it cashes.
I mean, you make good points about Holland. I don't like Holland. I don't.
Neither do I.
He's just. I don't know, man. This guy loses so many fucking fights in so many ways. He's not that good. Like, it's just proven at this point, the guy's not that good. He loses in so many ways to so many different fucking people. I mean, his last win at 170 was almost 2 years ago to fucking against Chiesa, who he ended up catching in some kind of choke. Like, he's not catching Gunner in any fucking chokes. Is he going to consistently stop his takedowns? I doubt it, man. Like, it's gonna happen. And then even if like Gunner doesn't sub him, like if he gets a couple takedowns in a couple rounds, like it's over. Like, he's gonna lay on top of Kevin Holland, like he's done all kinds of people don't want to say anymore because the guy barely fucking fights. But I mean, you're absolutely right about the point that he doesn't fight MMA. Like, the guy's never really been a fighter, per se. Like, but what he does is effective to win fights. So just think might be a bad matchup for Holland, but all your points are valid, man. Gunner, 2 years off. Does the guy even like fighting? All that's valid. So I get the bet on Holland.
Yeah, I'm not touching this one at all.
Yeah,
because
I heard
I don't know how you can feel good about betting either of these guys. One of them doesn't want to fight at all, and one of them wants to fight every 95 days, allegedly. And half the time when he actually gets in, he looks like he then doesn't want to fight. So I don't know if Gunner's going to come out and like immediately go for takedowns, which would probably be the smart thing for him to do, or if he's going to want to do his like karate shit that he does sometimes. And if you've got a bet on him, you're just like, why the fuck will you not go for a takedown, you idiot? And then he's like hopping in and out and doing his karate and not actually landing anything either. So this could be no matter who you bet on in this fight, it's probably going to be a very frustrating fight to watch. And I just don't want any part of that experience. I think at the end of the day, I'm probably going to pick Gunner because like he'll just he'll like teleport to Holland's back and backpack him, and we'll all wish there was a shot clock in MMA, and that'll be a round at a time that happens there. I think I initially said to you guys that I thought before we started recording that I thought this was going to finish quick, and I was maybe looking at an under. The more I thought about it being a Gunnar Nelson fight, I was like, no, he might not do anything in the entire first round. So let's hold the phone on that one. But Gunnar is going to be the pick, and yeah, good luck to you with any bets that are coming on that fight, because it could go any which way. Co-main event time now. Light heavyweight division. Former champ Jan Blachowicz, still feels weird to say, taking on the old Carlsberg. Handsome fella. Sean?
The number's probably a bit too wide on this one. There's just a lot of questions in this fight. Alberg really hasn't fought anyone with semi-decent grappling, which, like, I don't think Blachowicz grappling is just amazing. It's okay for light heavyweight. In the last 6 years, the only guys he's taken down are Israel Adesanya, a 185er, and Alex Pereira, who is a 205er. But those are kickboxers. Now, Alberg is also a kickboxer. So can he get him down? He hasn't fought in 2 years. He is now 42 years old. Alberg is no spring chicken. He's obviously had a ton of kickboxing experience, but there is some youth on his side, and he has looked better every fight. I know the fight against Uzdemir wasn't very impressive. Oezdemir is kind of a weird guy that a lot of guys just don't look good against. It just becomes a weird fight. For the most part, the slop that Ulberg has been fighting, he's been smoking for the most part. So the number seems wide, but there's a lot of question marks on both sides. So I don't fault anybody for taking the decent sized dog in Blachowicz, but I'll probably pick Ulberg to get the win.
Wesley.
I mean, Ulberg should probably win this fight. I agree that he's gotten pretty good. Like I'll never, not see Kenny Nunchucks fucking him up. Like that chin is always going to be questionable from that point on. I mean, that's not Blachowicz though. Like Jan's going in to grab this motherfucker. It's can he get a hold of him without getting clipped coming in? Can Ulberg move enough to get those opportunities to clip him? I don't even know if Blachowicz needs to get takedowns in this fight. Like he could get this guy against the cage and just work. I mean, hold him there like he's a big fucking dude. But Sean's right, man. Like 2 years off, the injuries, 42 years old is just wild. Who knows what he's getting shot up in that neck and shit though nowadays. Like there's so much shit that people use now. It's incredible what we can do with modern medicine. So look, the line's just kind of wide to me. I'm probably gonna have to take a little bit of Blachowicz. Him by decision is like plus 450. That's kind of wild. Because I think if he does win, it's just him probably controlling a couple rounds and just not getting clipped. So that decision price is pretty appealing to me, and I'll take a little of that. I think Ulberg's good though. Like he could definitely clip Jan, get him out of there, and what do you do with the guy? I mean, he definitely could be marketable. He's got dudes with hard-ons running around. Like that guy's he's pretty appealing. So yeah, we'll see. Should be a good test, and we'll see how good Ulberg is.
I feel like you guys already made my Blachowicz case for me. I know Sean arrived at the pick the other way, but he was talking about how Oezdemir's a tough fighter to look good against. Could say the same thing about Jan. Talks about how Jan got takedowns against the guys that are obviously better kickboxers with him. He's a smart fighter. Like he knows what he needs to do to get a win in pretty much any fight. You look at the Jan Kalaev fight, and I don't think there's anything I would say that Jan Kalaev is worse at than Jan, and that ends up as a draw. A split decision against Pereira. He just is a tough dude to fight, and he makes very good fighters have a difficult time figuring him out and getting anything done on him. Even if he doesn't immediately go out and shoot for takedowns, because that was the consensus wisdom heading into the Adesanya fight, and he goes out there and kickboxes with him competitively for 3 rounds and then takes him down late in the fight. Obviously, this isn't a 5-rounder, but if you can be competitive with Adesanya on the feet, if you can be not getting blown out by Pereira on the feet, I think you can manage to get competitive with Carlos Ulberg on the feet, and I think there's a massive edge if a takedown does come. So I'm kind of just ignoring the age, hoping if he's fighting that he's healthy, and I think if that's the case, I'm going to take a little shot on old Yanni from the block. For old time's sake. So that's gonna be a fun one. Sean, what are we seeing in the there you go. Aussie, I get it. All right. Moving on. Main event of the evening. 170 pounds. Leon Edwards, Sean Brady. Sean, take it away.
I thought you were yawning. The original Who is headlining this fight. I've never been impressed by Leon Edwards, which is wild because this guy was the champ, defended his title multiple times. He's just a dude that, save for a Hail Mary in the first Kamaru fight, this guy can't really put anybody away. He lets guys hang around. It hasn't really cost him to this point, but it's always there because this guy is a decision machine. I think Sean Brady can do a lot of what Bilal did to him. Grab on him, take him down, lay on him. I think Brady has probably better defensive wrestling than Bilal even. I don't think Edwards is going to get much top time here. I do think Sean Brady is very good. The Bilal fight happened. I lost a bunch of money on the over 2.5. It's wild that there was a finish in that fight. And it is there. You can't take that away. But this dude kind of dominates everybody he fights, save for that Bilal fight. He hasn't fought anybody that's super elite. He's kind of fighting guys of yesteryear, which is kind of who Leon Edwards has fought. He's just been fighting them for the belt. I do think that grappling advantage.
That when he fought Bilal, he was like the slight favorite in that fight too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's hype, man. And it got turned on him, but it was a lesson learned. I think he's going to be able to out grapple Leon Edwards. I don't think he gets a finish. I think he's just going to wear this dude out. And it's going to be a sad day for all the London crowd.
Wesley.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. I like Brady in this fight. I think the Bilal game plan absolutely works for Brady here. I think it works for just about anybody. Sean's completely right. Like, Leon Edwards doesn't get many people out of there outside of that just crazy walk-off lucky fucking, I don't call it lucky, but that's about it, man. Besides that, we've never seen him with big power. I mean, guys like Nate Diaz was rocking him and shit. Like, I've never gotten the Leon hype, man. I think we talked about before the show, I will say he's probably gotten to the point to where he's a little underrated because people think so little of the guy. I mean, he is better than what his rap is, the Who rap, but I still don't think he's this upper echelon. The loss to Bilal, just the knockout loss was wild. Like, Sean's right. Like, Bilal just doesn't do that to people either. But like, Brady's been in some kind of scraps at times since then, and the chin is held up. Man, his wrestling's insane. I think he can get takedowns when he wants here. I don't think he's in like crazy trouble on the feet against Leon. So, man, in 5 rounds, I wouldn't be shocked if Brady finds the back or something here and gets a late finish. But I like Brady here. I'm going to watch the line because it's starting to get a tiny bit better. And hopefully he can get in the minus 135 range, and I'll be pulling the trigger on Sean Brady.
Yeah, kind of like Brady as well here. I think the thing that Leon's always struggled with the most has been guys who are willing to just like come forward and put consistent pressure on him. It's why the Bilal fight didn't go so well for him. It's why he was losing, 3-1 before he knocked out Usman, and then had competitive fights with Usman and washed Colby Covington. So yeah, I do think that the title run and reign is a bit fraudulent. And yeah, Brady's got that style that's going to give him trouble. He's going to come forward. He's going to keep him against the cage. He's going to shoot for takedowns. He's going to get a few. Leon's going to get back up because he does have good defensive wrestling. And I think that we're probably going to see Leon being tentative to pull the trigger again because he's worried about getting taken down, and he's probably going to drag it out for 25 minutes. But as long as the cardio's there, from Sean Brady. I think that, he's able to push the pace, control most of the fight, and, it's 49, 46, 50, 45 type stuff, depending on if Leon lands something big in a round and is able to steal it. So, like Sean Brady here as well. Clean sweep. A little bit of disagreement, a little bit of weirdness on this card. And then we all agree in the old main event. Staff. Jeff was asking about staff. I think that there's a lot of guys that go into fights with staph or like a recovering staph infection. At this point, they're mostly well cared for, and I don't think they have a huge effect on performance. Otherwise, guys wouldn't be taking these fights, especially a dude like Leon. Although maybe he doesn't want to like cancel a fight in London or something like that. But yeah, I don't think it's a big issue. And there's like, Kevin Randleman level staff going through guys that are then going out there and fighting.
Yep.
Yeah. What else we got? I think Steve was just pointing out that Leon has a filthy gym.
Yeah, he's a dirty bastard. Yeah, fair enough.
What else? Wes, who's winning the college hoop thingy?
I haven't even done my bracket yet. I don't ever do them until the night before. So,
ritual.
I like St. John's to make a run, and then I hate to say it, but man, watch out for the Gators. Like, they're good.
I thought you were gonna say the Cats.
No. I'm a realist Kentucky fan. Like, I'll tell you when they're not good and we just too many injuries. That Gators team though is wild, man. First round upset for you. Yale is good. Watch for that 13 upset. I think that's a popular one though.
Fair enough. Sean, any sport things we need to know about on your ends? Oilers kind of like puttering through.
How do they have 7 goals and we can't get a fucking point out of our boy, man?
Wild.
Like,
that broke his he had an 18-game point streak.
Was it?
The Oilers score 7 goals and he does get a point. It's wild, but Oilers going to go on a heater. They usually do at the end of the season. So a little more of this, and we should be cashing a nice big ticket on our boy Leon.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
of course. Colorado scores 1 tonight. And
yeah.
McKinnon
was shut out for like 3 straight games, so he was due, and we're glad that he only got 1. So
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll take
that. Yep.
Yeah, good time of year for sports. It's things are starting to matter in the puck and the hoops, and then the college stuff, and I don't know, golf, I guess.
No, it's about to be warm, so we can just all say
we had our first 20-degree day of the year out here today. It was wonderful. Those couple of days where you get the dog walks, but there's still ice on some of the trails are always kind of interesting when you're wearing shorts and running shoes. But hey,
Canada, baby.
That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. Love this place. Anyway, I think we'll.
51st state.
You wish. Specifically you, because we'd help you win all the elections too.
Yeah.
I think that's for us.
Real rights.
Next week, probably. There's fights. There's always fights.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. But this weekend, folks.